Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Whew. I don't know why I started doing these on Mondays, except that, Mary's Monday Musings is really nice alliteration there, I guess. Hi, Nat. Thanks for hopping on. I hope you're feeling better. We had a beautiful day here in Richmond, and I'm so grateful for that. It wasn't terribly hot. It was just a really pretty day, and I snuck outside at lunchtime and just sat out on one of the benches in front of our building so I could enjoy the moderate temperature and beautiful weather. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm excited to be going live, to be officially kicking off Mary's Monday Musings again. Hey, Kelly. It's been a while. It's been a little bit of a journey, but I'm starting to feel like I'm getting in a good groove here and getting in a good pattern. So, plus, I've got so much I want to share tonight. You can probably tell on my excitement over everything that's been going on. Tinged with, as life often is, with sadness. Life's just a roller coaster, isn't it? Always is. Oh, always something. Isn't that what the philosophers say? It's always something. Anyway, if you don't know me, I'm Mary Moss. I live in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm a writer, speaker, Christian storyteller, author, and retreat leader, among other things. In my dream life and in my day job, I work as an administrator in an office. But I'm blessed that I can do both. And I recently shared that my day job funds my dream life. So I'm pretty lucky. A lot of people can't say that. Hi, Lily. Yes, it definitely happens while we're making other plans, doesn't it? Hi, Andrea. So, everybody probably knows, because I've been talking about it so much, that we had a retreat last weekend. But I want to back up a little bit, in case some of the people may not have heard, or if you're catching this on the replay, you may not have heard as many of my lives. This retreat that happened last weekend really began almost exactly 8 months ago, as kind of a little bit of a teasing, smart alecky kind of comment. I was kind of wishing and wanting things to kind of pick up a little bit. I wasn't working in my dream areas as much as I wanted to, and I just made a comment that I would love to speak at someone's, at people's events, their church events, retreats and things. And someone commented that, oh, well, I live too far, and I said I would travel, and one thing kind of led to another, where a couple of my friends said, well, I would travel to hear you, and one thing kind of led to another, and I think I messaged them privately about, this thought that I had about not putting this retreat on my dream board. And it wasn't even a conscious thought. It was one of those things that kept kind of in the back of my mind. It wasn't really a fully formed thought, but I was not feeling like I knew how to do that, like I was equipped or capable to do that. So I didn't put it on my dream board, and I didn't talk about it, and most of the time I didn't even think about it. And then God kind of set me up, and I have some friends who said, oh, we're doing this. Natalie and Barbara and Andrea. Oh, good. Thank you for listening while you're driving. Be careful. Said, yeah, let's do this. Why can't we do a women's retreat? It's like, just because we've never done one before and don't know anything about it and what we're doing, let's do it. So we started the process, and one thing led to another, and 8 months later, it happened. But let me lead up to that a little bit. We had kind of a roller coaster summer, and my mother-in-law went into hospice care, and then on July 21st she passed away. On the following week, we drove to Florida for my granddaughter Lydia's 3rd birthday party. Then we drove home that Monday. Tuesday we had the viewing. Wednesday we had the funeral. And Friday we had the women's retreat. So it was kind of, the whole thing was just kind of almost surreal. Everything was lovely. The funeral was lovely. The service, visitation, and it was just as lovely as you could hope that it would be. And Jim's brother flew in from California and spent almost a week with us, which was great because we don't get to see him that often. And it was great that they could be, brothers could be together and just talk about memories and the future and, everything. And so that all of that was nice. It was really lovely. What I couldn't have known when we scheduled the retreat was that all that would be going on. There was no way. But God, I think, knew that I was going to need that time at the retreat. I don't think he knew. He did know. Because from the minute we got on site at the retreat center, everything clicked. It fell into place. We had some great ideas of how to set things up. We had determined early on that we wanted to spoil everyone and make everyone feel special and pour into them, and that's what we did all weekend. And they were kind of blown away. They were like, oh, you don't have to do that, and you didn't have to take this extra step. But we wanted to. We wanted it to feel special. It felt special to us because we were chatting today that we still kind of can't believe, wow, it really happened. We really did it. But it's not just about what we did. God did it through us. We really surrendered a lot of it, especially the closer we got to it. We surrendered a lot of it to Him because we just knew that it was going to just be too overwhelming otherwise. We said whoever comes is who's supposed to be there. Whatever happens is how it's supposed to work out. And we really felt like that was the case. But it talks about, I was just thinking, right before I went live, about how my friend and Coach John Eric, has taught from the very beginning that our dreams are not ours. They belong to the world. And God gave them to us so that we can share them with the world. Hey, Jean. And so I was sitting here thinking about that, and I thought about, my dream of writing my second book. Well, it started out, I wrote that book because I wanted to heal. And I knew that I was going to have to go through that process in order to heal. And I shared, last week that what I found in the process was hope. And so then I shared hope and healing. So yes, I wanted to help other people, but I needed to help myself first. And then I was able to share that hope and healing with others. I hope that makes sense. I'm not going to say it was selfish. I'm going to say that a lot of times when God puts a dream on our heart, we don't understand the bigger impact. And we can say, oh yeah, our dreams are not for us, they're for the world. And, that's true. But I think most of us, if we're really honest, are not that altruistic in the beginning, when we're new to, tossing our dreams out there to the world and letting God do with them as they will. And I think in the process of writing the book, I learned that, God did know that I would need to heal. And I was able to do that at the retreat. on a lot of levels. And it was, I'm thinking of all the things. I'm going to talk in a few minutes about all the things that are happening as a result of us having that retreat. I mean, it's amazing. But I found some other things that I found my courage again. I found my voice again. And yes, I found some of it in the book, but it was like that book, that process got me back to where I was before I was in that grieving stage. You know, it was like that was the time prior that those years that I had missed. And it brought me up to current. What the retreat did was to open my eyes and my heart to the future and to the possibilities and to the wider world. But it also gave me the courage to know that I'm not relying on my own strength. You know, that's so biblical, right? Lean not on your own understanding. I portrayed the woman at the well. I told her story, and I had done it many times years ago after the book came out, but I haven't done it in 8 or 10 years. And she took on a new meaning for me. You know, I was truly that thirsty woman looking for the living water, desperate for the living water. And as I played her, I don't even remember what I said after the first few lines, because it's as if she just took over. She took me over and I became her. And it was very powerful for me to experience that. Hey, Geneva. And then to share afterwards my, comparison and understanding of how I was the woman at the well. How we all are, how we all are thirsty for that living water. And the realization that we're all God's Wonder Women because He empowers us. It's not our own power. So that happened, and it was, I got my notes just went to black. I hope I can get them back up here without too much distraction. So that happened. It was amazing for me to go through that experience. Oh, goodness. Light went out. Everything went out. There we go. Maybe. That's all right. Okay. I think we're back. But what was even better was that some of the best things that happened at the retreat, we didn't even plan. There's no way we could have. Most of the women who were there didn't know each other prior to the retreat. Some knew one or two. Many of us just knew each other from social media, from online. And hold on a minute, please. I'm sorry, I need to bring this back up. So what was the really cool part to me was to see how everyone instantly bonded, and at night, after the activities for the day were over, everyone gathered in the common area in the lodge and just sat around and talked and shared and asked each other questions and ministered to each other and challenged each other and loved on each other. And, that's not something we planned. You can't plan that. You can't make that happen. It was so amazing to witness that. And, we were fed too. We were ministered to as well. And by the amazing women who were there. A lot of us challenged each other. They challenged us. They challenged each other. They were very open to each other, very loving to each other. And it was a beautiful thing to see. And it was just unbelievable. It was more than a dream come true. There were divine appointments, Andrea, for sure. We kept saying we never could have imagined that it would have been that way, that it would have been that amazing. Every instant of it was just incredible. Just incredible. And it was very healing. There was a lot of healing that went on that weekend for a lot of us, and there's still a lot going on. Some other women also got their courage and found their voice and stepped into their identities as God's Wonder Women. One of the women who was there, Shalina Harris, who I've known for a couple years now, maybe almost 3 years, online. She's read so many passages out of both of my books, and I'm not sure exactly how we connected. I think we were in the same online community. Hey, Megan. And we just really clicked. And she is an amazing woman. She has a prophetic voice and a beautiful heart. And she was one of the presenters. And not too long before the retreat, she asked if her daughter could have a few minutes of her time to because she had a message that she wanted young women to know, and she would like to share that with us. And what was really cool is every single speaker, when I put that out there in the chat group that the speakers had, every single speaker said, she can have some of my time, she can have some of my time, she can have some of my time. There was not a bit of oh no, it's about me, this is my time. Everybody. And it ended up, I think she did use some of Shalina's time, but it worked out perfectly. They both had such powerful messages, such a poised and self-possessed young lady, and she ministered to us, I'm not kidding, with her very powerful message. And then her mama ministered to us after that with her very powerful message. So it was just amazing to see that there was just nobody was made that weekend about them. It was about coming together with other women and uplifting them and holding them up and loving on them. And it was really incredible. But back to Shalina, she and her daughter are going to do a mother-daughter retreat as a result of the great experience they had at the God's Wonder Woman retreat. And it's really, I guess, open to anyone who wants to come. But it's on September 14th at the Claytor Lake Park. And I was chatting with Shalina today about some of the details, and oh my gosh, it is going to be amazing. I mean, I got goosebumps talking to her. And not only that, but we're already collaborating. One of her other little daughters is collaborating with us on the next retreat, which I can't reveal anything about it yet, but within a week we'll have a date and a location, and we can start talking about that as soon as things are finalized. But already, all of us are like, oh, well, for the next one, this and the next one that. We're already so excited that we can't contain ourselves. We're just still so blown away. And we were saying that it really still hasn't sunk in. And it hasn't. God reveals new things to me every day about some of the events there. Natalie, who was one of the speakers, gave her testimony. She was one of the planners and organizers. Not only was she baptized by total immersion at the retreat, it was so cool. We had a great big wading pool. It wasn't a wading pool, it was a big pool filled up with water in the middle of the field. It was a beautiful, beautiful morning, and she was baptized by total immersion. And it was phenomenal. We were all cheering and clapping and crying. We were so happy for her. It was a beautiful ceremony. And she has decided, when she went back home, that she is going to lead a Bible study. For those of you who don't know, Natalie is fairly new in her faith as an adult Christian. So that's a huge, huge step for her. And we're so excited about that. She is going to just be spreading the word of God far and wide all over Canada and all over the internet. And we're just super excited about that. And I also am stepping up my dream. We realized that the three of us and Andrea, who is has come with us and is already working with us on the next one. God has put some big things on our hearts, and we need to honor those. And we need to honor them first. We need to honor them completely. And speaking for me, I had kind of gotten a little complacent. Like I was wanting to have more opportunities to speak, but I wasn't really pursuing them. I wasn't asking people. I wasn't in groups where I might network with people to get speaking engagements and all of that. So, I've gotten some, I have a mentor here in town who specializes in working with indie authors, independent, self-published authors. And she is really well connected, and she's been helping me get connected so that I can start pursuing some opportunities. She's given me some great ideas. Then I have another friend, that's Shakita Lee. She's awesome if you need any business coaching in that area. And she's local to this area, so like I said, she's really connected locally, and it's really going to help me. And then Amanda, my friend Amanda Winchester, who did all of the work around creating the Google Forms and helping us with the retreat page and the retreat group and a lot of the back office stuff, just said, oh, I'd love to help you do that if you don't mind. We were like, yes, please, and thank you. I've hired her to do some upgrades on my website and link my Facebook and my website and all of that. And we're collaborating on that right now. She's really patient with me. And I message her, okay, I uploaded some more stuff, and then, she's got to figure out what to do with it, but I know it'll be amazing just based on what she did. I'm also, of course, I have my amazing, wonderful friend and coach, John Eric, who just daily pours into so many people, including me. I started after the retreat, I started doing the is it 5 by 55 or 55 by 5? I write my 55 times my affirmation. I'm on day 3, so I can hardly wait to see what's going to happen with that. So I'm actually actively and consciously manifesting some of the things into my life that I've been sitting around saying, well, I really want these things to happen. So thank you, Julie. 5 by 55. And of course, I know all about the law of attraction. I've done it for years, but you kind of get things happen, and you get out of a habit, and then you get out of a mindset, and it's been quite an interesting year for us. But I think we're back on track, and I just urge you, if you have a dream, if you have even an idea, a hint of a dream, you need to speak it into existence, and God will make it happen, and He'll make it happen whether you know what you're doing or not. It doesn't matter. If He has called you, it will happen. And you need to just put yourself out there and say, okay, here I am. You need to look around and find the people that you need to help you. You need to learn what you need to learn, and you need to do what you need to do. If that little whisper in the back of my mind that wasn't even a conscious thought, if that hadn't been so persistent, I don't know what would have happened. I mean, the retreat never would have happened, that's for sure. And I want to share a story. I think I've shared it at least once on a live, but it made me cry. It took my breath away, and this is proof that what God ordains will come to be, and it's also proof that every instant of our life was ordained before the universe began. And this is how I got confirmation of that. Almost 3 years ago, you've heard me talk a lot about the retreat in Florida, the Dream Retreat, where about 30 of us got together and talked about our dreams and how to make them a reality, and what, kind of broke them down to the lowest common denominator, deconstructed them, and then started working on them. And we worked individually with John Eric, and then we worked in small groups. And that was also a life-changing experience for me. I mean, on many levels, and it's one of those experiences that I will always look back and say, that was a day that changed my life. That was the day. And what I didn't know was that there were 2 of the other women who were there that weekend had met at Disney after the retreat. They met for lunch, and they talked about doing a women's retreat and how much they really wanted to do it, and and both saying, and we'd really like Mary to do it with us. It would be a great trio, and we should really do it. I had no way of knowing this. No one ever told me this. I had no idea. I didn't even know they would consider me for something like that. So life went on, and, I wrote my book, and both of them, things happened in the life of one of them, and she had to make some changes in her life, and so it never happened. And the other one who I've really stayed in touch with, who's been an inspiration to me in making her dreams happen, messaged me a couple months ago and said, I am so happy that you're doing this retreat. And she told me that story. And she said, I never pursued it because I wasn't brave enough and didn't believe in myself enough to do it on my own. And I'm so happy that you're doing it. And I mean, I will never forget that, because that to me, not only was it confirmation that this retreat was supposed to happen, it taught me about that still small voice. And it didn't just teach me, it reminded me of that still small voice that's back there, that's guiding us and leading us and letting us know God's will for our lives. And we need to listen to that, and we need to give it the power that it deserves, because it will change your life if you can do that. If you can be brave enough, and if you can trust God enough to let Him make happen what He's already ordained. We felt the Holy Spirit all weekend from start to finish, in just so many. Thank you, Natalie. I'm hugging you too, in so many ways. And I'm so glad we did the retreat. I'm so glad for the incredible women that we met, and I'm so glad that already we're seeing that a seed that we planted here and there and here and there, that it's already cast out to the wind and multiplying. Doug Perdue wants to be on my video. Did one of the kids get a hold of Nana's phone? Oh, good. Hi, Doug. Thank you for watching. Doug is Andrea's husband. So anyway, that's I know it's long and rambling, but I'm telling you, if you have a dream, you have got to go after it. And you can't let anything stop you. I'm telling you, the enemy, the closer we got to the retreat, the harder we had to fight to make it happen. I'm not kidding you. From our worship leader and one of the singers and worship leader almost losing her voice. I don't know how she made it through the weekend. From cars breaking down, from people getting sick, from things happening that just don't normally happen. There was some force against that retreat happening, and that's how we knew, the closer we got to it, that it must need to happen, because there would be a power released into the world that the enemy didn't like, and it happened. And guess what? You can't stop God when he decides that something's going to happen. You just need to trust in him and be obedient. No, the devil did not want this retreat, but guess what? We kicked him to the curb, didn't we? So anyway, and yeah, there's so many amazing things that are coming down the road as a result of this. I'm gratified that some of the women who were there felt empowered to then go out and do some other things on their own that will be ministering to other women. And I can't wait. I just can't wait to see everything that's going to happen from this. And we're going to keep our God's Wonder Woman page active. We'll be posting there on a regular basis. And once we get the details of next year's retreat, we'll be providing those and keeping everybody posted. And I'll be announcing probably next month that I'm going to be starting a newsletter. And one of the things I'll be including in that will be an email newsletter if you want it. One of the things that I'll be doing is offering updates on the retreat in there every month. So that was really all I wanted to talk about. It ended up being kind of rambling. I'm kind of like the old days. But I had to just share about the retreat, and so many people, prayed for us and prayed about the retreat and prayed for the attendees and everything that would happen, and it worked. It really worked, because God showed up big time and really showed off. So I will post a link in the comments to the retreat on September 14th that Shalina and Anna Harris are hosting. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be some really cool stuff. There'll be some worship, not formally, and I think she's going to have the same woman who did the photography at our retreat, I believe, will be there doing photography for that, which will just be phenomenal. And like I said, I'm super excited, super excited for what they're doing in September. So I will post some links in the comments so that you all can have information on all the things, as John Eric calls them. And thank you so much. I think I'm going to bed because I still haven't caught up on my sleep from the retreat. We didn't get much sleep because we were up late, just having a great time with each other. So thank you. I hope you all have a great rest of the night. Hope you have a good week, and I will talk to you next Monday. Bye-bye.